Good morning, Spiritual Living Center Atlanta. How are you doing this morning? Hello, everyone out in video land. Hello, everyone roaming around the campus right now. We're going to invite you to come on in and join the fun. My name is Jennifer Farron. I'm going to be your substitute Penelope today. So I hope you enjoy the music. We're going to get started with some of my songs to open up with. And this one is called Spirit Work Through Me. It's just a simple refrain, and the words are going to be on the screen. So I invite you to sing along. I'll show you how it goes the first time, and then you can join in the second time around. I am open, Spirit enter in. I am open, Spirit work through me. Use my hands, use my feet, use my mind, all of me. I am open, Spirit work through me. Sing with me if you want. I am open, Spirit enter in. I am open, Spirit work through me. Use my hands, use my feet, use my mind, all of me. I am open, Spirit work through me. I am open, Spirit enter in. I am open, Spirit work through me. Use my hands, use my feet, use my mind, all of me. I am open, Spirit work through me. One more time. I am open, Spirit enter in. I am open, Spirit work through me. Use my hands, use my feet, use my mind, all of me. I am open, Spirit work through me. Do that little bit. I am open, Spirit work through me. Lovely, everyone, lovely. Thank you, everybody. It's so nice to be back. It's been forever and ever and ever. Oh, and now we're going to do Work in Progress, of which I do not have the lyrics, but they're going to be on the stage. I think I left my lyrics up on the sound booth. I'll read it along with you. How about that? So this is a call and response. You repeat after me. Here we go. I am a work in progress. I release all doubt today.
I am a work in progress. I release all doubt today.
I am a work in progress. I release all fear today.
I am a work in progress. I release all fear today.
Living in the moment, trusting in the flow. Your turn.
Living in the moment, trusting in the flow.
I am fully conscious as I just let go.
I am fully conscious as I just let go.
I am a work in progress. I release all pain today.
I am a work in progress. I release all pain today.
I am a work in progress. Less than good all fades away.
I am a work in progress. Less than good all fades away.
Grateful for each moment from my heart and soul.
Grateful for each moment from my heart
Well, in case you're thinking, golly, Jennifer, we remembered you being a lot snappier and faster and rock and rollier. Well, your dream is about to come true. Your memory is about to be confirmed. Because now I'm going to ask you politely to stand, if you feel comfortable. And then I'm going to ask you to sing and dance. I am free. Some of you have a shoulder issue, so you can just go like this. I am free. I'm great. Thumbs up. No longer, sassy finger. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power. I know that's not grammatically correct. Of spirit in me now. You're like, gosh, Jennifer, that seems pretty easy, but the trick is to sing and dance. But I'm going to put your hands together. I'm going to sing it 5,000 times, and you're going to know it. Woo! Oh, yeah! How we feeling today? Are we ready to create? Are we ready to express? Are we ready to sing? Are we ready to dance? I got little chunky heels on, so if I can do it, you guys can do it in your little flat Skechers. You can do it. Come on. And it goes like this. I'll show you. Oh, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Put your hands together. Every day, people around me say, let's come together. Through God in every way. As we throw our fear and doubt aside, we'll live forever in the joy that God creates. So come on, come on, come on, come on. Sing it loud and strong. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Put your hands together again. Every day, the people around me say we are connected through love in every way. As we throw our fear and doubt aside, we are protected in the joy that love creates. So come on, come on, come on, come on. Sing it loud and strong. I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power. Now if you're ambidextrous, do both hands. Oh, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Yes, I am free. I'm great. No longer do I wait. I got the power of spirit in me now. Now, instead of clapping your hands, we're going to, all that energy that we just created, pull it from your heart. We're going to give it away to the world. On your mark, get set, go. Nicely done, peoples. You may be seated. Well, actually, we're going to do our opening song. Thank you for playing along and singing along. So now we're going to do a song by Reverend Dr. David Alt. It's our opener, so for those of you at home, get ready to sing along. I am grateful for this day, for the love we share, the life we make, and I give thanks for all the many ways that the love of God appears. I am grateful for this day, for the love we share, the welcome, welcome.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, everyone. My name is Dale Williams, and I proudly serve as a licensed practitioner at the Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. We are a center that educates and engages the seeker on a spiritual path. As a member of global movement Centers for Spiritual Living, our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And our vision is a world that works for everyone. Thank you. Whether this is your first time, you're watching from home, you're a member, SLCA is where you belong. We are grateful for your presence today, this morning, and please allow us to love you.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, Dale. Good morning, everybody. Yay. Give another hand for Jennifer Fern being with us today. Grateful for you. It's a great day to be together. It's warming up, so get your You Belong shirts in the back if you don't have them out yet. It's time to start wearing them on Sundays. I'm looking forward. Last summer, that's all I wore. I got rid of the suits, and I just wore the You Belong shirt. It was a wonderful thing. Grateful that you're here today. It's a Sunday after Easter, and I often wonder as a minister, there's a few Sundays of the year that are kind of like head scratchers for ministers, right? Because you pray prayer, you build up, and after Easter, it's kind of like, well, now what do I do? After Christmas, same thing. So today we're going bold. Today we're going boldly forward. Where else is there to go after all the buildup of that energy and talking about the birthing and awakening of Christ consciousness within us, but to boldly go into the direction of our vision and our dreams. So that's our theme today, and I'm excited to bring it to you. Our affirmation today is this. I will read it and then ask you to repeat after me. Today, I give myself permission to boldly believe in the possible and to boldly go where my highest good resides. As I discover more creative capacity, I dedicate myself with bold tenacity, knowing that nothing can hold me back. Let's say it together. Is that good or what? Yeah, that's good. Take a deep breath. Today, I give myself permission to boldly believe in the possible and to boldly go where my highest good resides. As I discover more creative capacity, I dedicate myself with bold tenacity, knowing that nothing can hold me good. Amen. Let's have a great day together. Give yourselves a hand.
Hello, dear ones. Keep your mind fixed on what you want in life and not on what you don't want. And change your thinking, change your life. So say Napoleon Hill and Ernest Holmes. And these principles are responsible for our joy, happiness, prosperity, and mental wellness. My name is Dr. Scheherazade Reed Taylor, and I am a licensed practitioner at SLCA. May is Mental Health Month, and on each Wednesday in May, the Lunch and Learn series, Living the Wellness Way, will be held via Zoom. I hope you'll come join us for conversations on how we can create a mentally healthy world that works for everyone. Until then, peace, blessings, and prosperity.
Good morning. My name is Mally Lapete, and I gladly serve on the Creative Arts team here at SLCA. Let's do some announcements. Let's find them. There you go. I'm excited to tell you about opportunities to connect, grow, serve, and give at our center. For more information about today's announcements, give yourself a moment to scan the QR code on the back of the chairs in front of you. And there's also a wall in the lobby with all of this on it. Plus, if you're viewing us from home, it's on your monitor, that little QR code. Or you can also visit the website, slca.com. Connect to the writer within, all of us, with our monthly writers group. This group is led by Kathy Ellis and will meet at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday, April 28th via Zoom. I imagine it's every Thursday, not just then. Right, Shannon? Nope. Is that the last one? Once a month. Boy, I'm glad I checked. We have an incredible special opportunity coming up on Wednesday, April 27th. That's this week at 7 p.m. Eastern. The CSL spiritual leader, Dr. Edward Full-Yoon, will be the special guest for the Living the Science of Mind gathering, led by Reverend Susan Zoller. You will not want to miss this opportunity to grow. As SLCA continues to grow, we need your help. Did you know that there are many ways you can serve at SLCA? Take a look at the monitor for some of the opportunities available and pitch in. I do, and it makes me feel great. We would like to thank our loyal pledgers and each of you that faithfully give to SLCA. To find ways to connect, grow, serve, and give, visit our digital program or our program wall in the lobby. That's what it's called, the program wall. Practitioners are available this morning for prayer after service and in-person and online chat. If you wish to receive affirmative prayer, our online practitioner will provide their email so you can set up a time. For in-person treatment, practitioners can be found at the front of the sanctuary on either side after the service. Thank you for joining us today. You'll have a good one.
The time clock is telling me that it's time to simmer down our energy.
Okay, it is time for affirmative prayer. And in the affirmative prayer, we are affirming that God is all there is. So if you're here and you're in your chairs, I ask that you would sit up straight with your back against the chair, your feet planted on the ground, representing the soil of the earth. Breathe in deeply, slowly breathe out. Another deep breath in, breathe out. One more breath in, slowly breathe out. I will speak in the first person, and I ask that take what resonate with you as I say this affirmative prayer. There is one source. This source is known by many names. This source is known by Allah, Yahweh, Buddha, Krishna, divine intelligence, infinite intelligence, divine mother, father, God. Its source, its purpose is to give life to the universes upon universes upon universes. It is the reason that we are here today. I am so grateful to know that I am a manifestation of God's idea, that I was created in the image and the likeness of that which created all things, and that this creator is so much a part of me that I don't know where it ends and I began. I am so grateful to know today that I have been given the mission to carry the light, the burning torch of love throughout the universe, to share my experience, my strength, and my hope, my love, and my compassion that I have found here in Science of Mind. That God continues to bless me no matter where it is that I go, no matter where it is that I may end up. For I am the drop of the water out of the ocean, which has the mighty ocean in my drop, which Rumi says, but basically is saying that there's no place that I can go that God is not there with me. For I am the wave that never leaves the ocean. I am that light that lights up the universe, the constellations, the moons, the planets, the stars. I have that power within me, and I'm so grateful to know that. I'm so grateful to know that I was created from love, for love, to love, but love must first begin with me. I understand today that I have been given the power to change conditions and effects, that I have been given the power to heal, that I have been given the power to speak life at the level of my consciousness. For it is my truth, it is It is through my understanding of my belief, my faith, and my thoughts that create my reality. And the universe, the soul of the universe, by law, must reproduce my requests at the level of my understanding, my belief, and my awareness of God. So with all this, I am so thankful today. I'm so thankful that I am intelligent, that I am bright, that I am smart, that I am loved, that I am forgiving, that I am a student of the Most High, that I continue to allow the universe to flow through me with all this energy and with all this intelligence and with all this love and with all this power so that I can be set free from that has any opposition to that which creates all things. So with all this beautiful, beautiful love and gifts that the universe continues to shower me with, I give it back to the ethers of that from which it comes so that it can internally and infinitely continue to do its work. And if you agree with me, let us say together, and so it is.
The heart of God, I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God, I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God, I breathe the love of God through me. I breathe into that. Of the life I choose today, and then patiently I wait. So much good's already coming to me now, as I consciously awake. And I am open, God willing. Father, time along the way, even when I miss my mark. And I'm learning there are really no mistakes, only brilliant works of heart. And I am open, God willing. I am open, God willing. Let the past all fade away. And every day I'm unfolding into the joy that I've created with the one who has created me. I see my path so clearly right in front of me, and I will follow where it goes. and I surrender to the flow. Sing it with me. Oh, I am open, God willing. Oh, I am open, God willing. I am open, God willing. This is the last one, so you can do fancy if you want. I'm open, God willing. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Yes, yes. Jennifer Fern, thank you so much. Powerful. All right, take a deep breath. We're talking all month long. As you know, our Sunday themes follow the monthly cover of Science of Mind magazine, the theme in the magazine, which you can get in the lobby. And so April's been about creativity. And we've gone through sacred holidays, Palm Sunday and Passover, Ramadan, and Easter. And we've looked at the creative arc of our soul, stepping into creative expression and authenticity. Today, as I said, we're going to talk about now kind of wrapping all of that energy up and boldly going in the direction of our dreams and of our highest good, as the affirmation indicated. Being creative is our nature, right? As a living individuation of the Almighty, of the infinite, of the energy of the universe, we are, by default, imbued with a creative possibility, a creative capacity, a creative energy, and that our thought replicates. One of the things that Science of Mind teaches, Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, is that our thought pattern recreates the thought pattern of the divine, that our use of creativity is a replication, if you will, in principle of how the universe is created. Now, how do we come to that conclusion? Well, it's very simple. Since God is all that there is, and the universe is a manifestation of the, scientists call it the Big Bang, right? The religionists will call it God said, but it's that moment in which the all creative capacity of the universe burst into form and into expression. And through billions and billions of years, it ended up right here in your seat, right? Right here in your breath. That what you are, every aspect of your being came from that moment. You are stardust looking back on itself. You are the infinite in every cell of your being. Your presence is a miracle in this life, yes? Yes. And so creating a space where, in our life, where love is welcome, where we practice kindness, where we allow ourselves to know this truth and act like it, to create a world that works for everyone, right? What we have to do is we have to step into an awareness where we no longer find ourselves giving ourselves excuses or letting ourselves off the hook. We no longer live from the place of I can't, I don't know how, or as my own journey with creativity was, because I always thought creativity meant like art and stuff, right? Like paintings, you know, we have our artists in residence here, and music and things of that nature. And while I did play some musical instruments as a kid, I never obviously made a profession of it. And while I certainly did finger painting as a kid, I never got on any walls other than a refrigerator somewhere. So, you know, I never thought of myself as, quote unquote, creative innately, right? Anybody else have that? He's like, I'm not creative, right? Stop that. Your breath is an expression of the creativity of the divine. Your presence is a manifestation of the creativity of the universe itself, you see? And so instead, when we stop saying I can't, when we stop saying I don't know how, when we stop saying I'm not creative, what we do is we step into an ever-present reality and where there's a presence that meets us, and we ask that presence, how can I do this? How can I meet this moment with my creative potential? How can I navigate this trouble that I'm facing with the creative potential that's within me? How can I expand ever more fully into my divine ideal self, accessing the creative potential within me? And when we surrender ourselves to those questions, when we surrender ourselves to those moments, the universe responds to us. And we discover that we, in fact, have the potential to boldly go where our highest good resides. Right? Because I don't know about you, but I have found myself playing timid far too much in life. Right? Going, well, I'll do it when I have the degree, I'll do it when I have the money, I'll do it when I feel like enough people have given me permission. Right? From the outside world or a community around us, our parents, or whatever that may be. And what I've discovered is that the world marches on, and there's still stuff happening, and there's people succeeding every day, and there's people hurting every day, and there's trouble on the news every night. The world is not waiting for you to figure out your permission. The world is actually begging you to wake up into your creative potential. Because to the degree that we do that, to the degree that we say yes to ourselves, as the month began with Reverend Jean's message, say yes to the yes, when we say yes to the yes inside of us, then providence moves, spirit moves, and fills that space to meet us where we are, and everything that we need comes forward. We can, and we have the capacity to marshal our spiritual forces collectively and individually to solve big issues, to answer big questions. We have vision and guidance and insight. We can reveal magnificent ideas that anchor us in faith and launch us into meaning and to passion. And it's from this practice of our oneness with all life. It begins very simply, right? It just begins very simply with the daily thought, the daily affirmative prayer, the daily affirmation, the daily meditation of I am one with the infinite. It's that simple. Because the infinite is infinitely creative. The infinite has the infinite capacity to handle all the problems of the world. The infinite has whatever it needs to solve all of the isms and hunger issues and equity issues and all of the things. It certainly has the answer to solve whatever problem you're struggling with, right? But it can only do that through the channels that align with it, through the portals, if you will, through the places where its energy can flow. And so if we're in a constant conversation of I can't and I don't know how and I'm not creative or whatever it is, whatever those blocks are, then we're constantly blocking the good flowing through us where those solutions reveal themselves. So it begins with a very simple practice. It begins just simply with a breath and just says, I am one with the infinite. That's it. I'm one with the divine. I'm one with the allness of God. And because of that, everything flows from that. All of my solutions, all of my highest good, all of the direction that I need, all of the insight that I'm seeking, everything flows from that place. We become powerful vehicles for transformation and healing and newness. We have within us a superpower to create a world that works for everyone. So we must begin by recognizing that we live in an infinite wisdom, an infinite wholeness, a pure potentiality, which means unlimited thinking produces unlimited good. Unlimited thinking produces unlimited good. If I just align myself to think with unlimited thinking, there's no roadblock to the divine. There's no threshold where the infinite stops expressing. It's unlimited. And so if I'm one with that, that's all I need to do. I don't need to bring my questions or my problems or my issues or the world's issues into that. I just need to know that as I think with the mind of the infinite. And unlimited thinking has the capacity to bring forward unlimited good through you, through me, through each one of us. Along the way, our recognition of the allness and the immediacy of God, we must begin to recognize that no one, including ourselves, is a random event. without a greater truth to be revealed. In other words, you and I are divine ideas in the mind of God, and so is everybody else. As I said, we're the stardust looking back on themselves. I'm going to see if this is going to work today. I didn't test it. Oh, it went the wrong way, so it is working. There we go. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind, around page 410 or so, says, the thought is the mold. Conviction is the molten substance poured into the mold. One is not complete without the other. And many people make the mistake of using only one of these essential states of consciousness. The thought creative, or I have capacity, or I don't have capacity, or I am love, or whatever it is. The statements that you make, the thoughts that you have, create the mold for your experience. So if you're trying to create new experiences, if you're trying to create new visions, if you're trying to manifest dreams or desires in your life, it begins with the thought. You have to think it possible in order for something to happen. Yes? You got to think it possible in order for something to happen. The thought is the mold, but it's conviction, it's feeling, it's passion, it's an unequivocal heart's desire to know that that is the truth. That is the molten substance that's poured into the mold. And so how do you get the thing that looks like the mold that you've made with your thoughts? You get it by filling it with your passion, by filling it with your desire, by filling it with your conviction that all is well, that God is all that there is. You don't have to know how. You don't have to know when. You have to know where the money is going to come from, or what the solution is going to be. You just have to know, right, that there is the possibility of a world that works for everyone. That's the mold. Every time we affirm that here, we're creating that mold. But the mold won't create it by itself. That's just the mold. That's just the form being held in the mind of God. It's the blueprint. Or what Holmes says in the Science of Mind text, he calls it the mental equivalent. Right? It's the mental equivalent, which is really just fancy New Thought word for blueprint. It's the blueprint. You look at the blueprint and you go, okay, this is how the house is going to look. This is the design. This is the shape. This is the size of the walls and the foundation and all that. It gives you the shape and the idea. So the thoughts held in mind become the blueprint. But it's conviction, it's passion, it's ideas, it's all of that belief that we pour into it that says, I know that I'm one with the divine, and Spirit cannot deny me my request. Spirit cannot deny that which is aligned with its highest good. Therefore, I pour into that every ounce of my being into that mold, knowing that what comes forward is exactly what I have envisioned. Can you believe that that's possible for your life? Yes? Yes. 3 of you can. That's good. We'll get the rest of you. I know online they're jumping up and saying that good morning and amen. See, Holmes continues to say, he says, God moves upon God. It's the starting point of creation. Every time one conceives an idea, it is God expressing itself. Bless his heart. He said himself with a capital H, but it's okay. We've corrected it. Right? Itself. God is expressing itself. God moves upon God. It's the starting point of creation. Every time one conceives an idea, it is God expressing itself. When you have that idea of what's possible for your life, that vision of what ultimate good, emancipated expression, freedom, liberation at every ounce of your being, what that looks like for you financially, what that looks like for you in your physical health, what that looks like in your living situation, what that looks like in your creative expression and job, and ways in which you contribute to the world that pay you back for your time. All of those things, the idea that you have, that is God moving upon God. That is the infinite expressing itself. You are using the creative power every time you think. He says, we cannot escape from the creative power of our thought, and there is no use trying to do so. All we need to do is to use the law from the right motive, and we shall be made free. We cannot escape. And here's where understanding our creative capacity comes in. You cannot escape from using the creative. That's too much too soon. Stay right there. Don't jump ahead on me. You cannot escape using the creative capacity. You're using it right now. You think about the rest of your day, you think about the rest of your week, you think about what's going to happen later this summer, this year, where your career path is going, where your relationship is going, where your plans for this and that in life are going. You are using the creative capacity of the universe. The question is, are you using it wisely? You see, being creative is not about being talented. Being creative, again, is in our nature. Everything that we do is creative. If we don't think highly of our creative prowess, then we will experience a life that feels like default. Let me say that again. If we do not believe highly or think highly of our creative prowess, then we will experience a life that feels like it's on default. There is a collective race consciousness, meaning a collective consciousness of the planet, of every region that we're in. So for us, for Atlanta, there's a collective consciousness, which just means the buildup of what the collective people think. What they think is normal, what they think is acceptable, what they think is good or right. And obviously within that there are divergent ideas, as we see in political seasons, but there is a dominant thought that tends to win the day out, right? Especially when it's not challenged. Come on, somebody. When it's not challenged, then the old thinking, and I don't know about you, this is why I'm excited about this idea of boldly going in the direction of our dreams and visions, because I try not to do this every Sunday, but I'm sorry, but we'll just talk about, because the commercials are on all the time right now, right? And the politics, and what I'm seeing is a lot of old ideas being trotted out. A lot of old biases, a lot of old, like the tricks are, I'm just like, this is 2022. Are we not beyond that yet? Do we have to attack Mickey Mouse? And transgender folks and this and that, and it's like then the things that are being tried are so old. It's like that is such an old thought. Can we have some new thoughts in here? Right? There's such a reliance on the old paradigm of us and them and fear, and we got to watch out, and they're this and that, and like, no, can we boldly go in the direction that a world works for everyone, and that we don't have to attack anybody, and that everybody can have the space of welcome and inclusion and love and safety and resources? And can we try that for a minute? Because this other stuff, we have been trying that for so long, and it's so tired. I won't mention names, but because I know we got a race coming up here, but in a particular state, because I know we got people watching online too, they're not seeing the same commercials. In a particular state that I may or may not live in. State of mind or consciousness, you never know. But it was a race for the governor's office. And the particular person whose commercial it was, their attack was on if the other person had been governor. And I watched it and I went, so you're running against an imagination? Like your imagination of what might have happened? Like you're not even running against, well, this is what the person did, or this is what they've done in their political career, or this is what, it's just like, well, had they been, could you imagine? Can you imagine trying to do anything creative and worthwhile in your life by running against your own imagination? It doesn't make any sense. But the truth is, if you pause and think about that question for a minute, probably a lot of us have done exactly that. We've ran campaigns against our own highest good because we're fighting against our imagination. We're fighting against what we think will happen, what we fear will happen, what we've been told by others is or is not possible. Am I getting to anybody here? Our imagination is the most creative canvas that we have, and we're using it all the time, sometimes in a misplaced and habitual way. Right? If someone, let me break it down and make it personal for you. Get off the politics for a moment. Somebody may tell you that it's hard to imagine what life would be like if it was perfect. And after some trying, maybe we say, I can't even imagine it. Right? I can't even imagine it. What my life would be like if there were no problems, no issues, no challenges. Everything just went the way I would like it to be. All in my highest good was revealing itself. But, I can't even imagine it. And then 5 minutes later, you sit and worry and fret about how you're going to pay the bills or how you're going to get this done or to get that done. And suddenly, without realizing it, you're actually using the faculty of imagination really, really well, right? You're able to clearly and vividly imagine what would happen if you didn't pay the rent on time, or if you didn't get this done, or if you didn't get that done, or whatever the case may be, right? And you can already feel like what it would be like, even though rent isn't due for another 30 days. And using the creative capacity of your imagination to run against your highest good, to run against your imagination of what you fear might be happening. Now, that's what I'm seeing happen in the political commercials right now, and it boggles my mind. I'm like, don't we have a higher thought than that? Can't we run against what's possible? Can't we run against what would happen if we all challenged ourselves to step up to the plate and create a place that works for everyone? Can't we run against that? Can't we allow ourselves to say, well, yeah, but there would be this challenge and that challenge? Yeah, there would be. And let's put our imagination and our creative capacities to use on that, to figuring that out, instead of saying it's not possible and therefore we've got to divvy up all the resources for ourselves and make sure ours got their own and all of this other stuff. No, what if we said there is a world possible of a greater good for everybody? And it's going to be challenging. It's going to raise some things up. But let's put our imagination to use to that. Are you following what I'm saying? Yes. And so I've got a few steps for you to do this, to boldly go in the direction of your life and your vision and your dreams. The first is to decide. It's to simply decide, to make a decision that you are committed to the highest good unfolding in your life. To trust that you were made with a purpose and on purpose. Now you might say, well, how am I able to do that? Because I have trust issues and I've got wounding and I've got this and that. You know, I like to tell the story of the toaster. Some people that have been following me for a long time know this story, right? When you take a, everybody know what a toaster is? Things have changed, you know. You take that toaster now, it has a job, and that's to do what? To make toast. Take bread, turn it into toast. Pretty simple. Now you take that toaster, you unplug it, you leave it there unplugged for a few days, a few weeks, a few months, really doesn't matter, right? Some period of time. It no longer has the capacity to do what it does because it's not plugged into its source. Watch me now. It's not plugged into its source. Now you come back, day later, a week later, a month later, doesn't matter what time period it is, you plug it back in, you take a slice of bread, you put it in, you press the button, what happens? It makes toast. Why does it make toast? Because that's its job and it's plugged into its source. You have to decide that the universe is for you. You have to decide that you are made on purpose and in purpose. You have to decide that you are here to give birth to a greater creative expansion. And if there's any part of you that struggles with that capacity to decide because you've got trust issues or this or that, right? Notice what the toaster doesn't do. The toaster doesn't say, well, I don't know how I was unplugged or when I was unplugged or how long I've been unplugged. And, you know, I got some issues with that. I need to process that. I might need to go to a appliance therapy session, and I might need to do a weekend seminar and get in touch with my inner toaster. I got issues. I don't feel like making toast today. No, it's plugged in and it's doing what it's designed to do. You and I, our job is to get plugged in and do what we are designed to do, which is to give birth to creative compassion, to creative love, to creative expression of greater good as our life and as the life for each other. Imagine you're sitting at a restaurant and they bring you the menu. And on the menu is, on one side, it's infinite possibility. The universe is your banquet hall. Anything you could possibly imagine is yours. You just have to decide to pick that. On the other side is the menu of mediocrity. And it's lukewarm stuff and leftovers and the collective race consciousness of what's been had for generations upon generations. And, you know, they just keep eating it and they just keep ordering it because that's what our ancestors did and that's what everybody did. And it's just the norm. And, you know, we don't really like it, but we know what it is and we know what's going to come to the table if we order from that side. Now, the other side, you may not know what it's going to taste like. You've never seen it before, right? You may not know what all the ingredients are, but it's infinite capacity. And you get to decide. It's that simple. Which would you choose? Would you choose mediocrity? Or would you choose infinite creative capacity? Right? We have to decide that we are made for purpose and on purpose. Otherwise, we limit ourselves. Trust that you were made on purpose and in purpose, and that the universe is for you. Then, once you decide, you open yourself up to the period of discovery. You begin to discover your gifts, your talents, your motivations, your abilities, your strengths. You begin to discover what you're really made of. You begin to discover resources and tools and capacities within you that you never knew existed. And you could never know that they existed before because you hadn't made the decision to commit to being a part of the unfoldment of them, right? Because you were in your fear, you were in your worry, whatever it was. You begin to discover, oh, I've got this capacity within me. I tell you, since I've made the decision to move into ministry, some 18, 20, almost 20 years ago, right? It's been a constant journey of discovering the capacity that was within me that I never would have known if I hadn't made that decision, right? Next is to develop yourself through discipline and training based on who you're called to be, to take those creative capacities and say, now I need to develop that. I need to hone that skill. I need a mentor. I need some training. I need some certification. I need something to surround myself and really make that skill and make that capacity, utilize it to its fullest ability. Develop yourself. And then dedicate yourself to choosing wisely, to honoring God, to serving others. Dedicate yourself to being available to the greatest good of the planet. This will put you on the course to boldly go. I mentioned my path into ministry. I remember many, many years ago, the first decision that I made was simply to give my life to this teaching, to the science of mind. I was about 13, 14 years old, and I had been going to youth camps, and I had seen this teaching have a direct impact on my life. I watched how my creative use of consciousness created a greater good in my experience. I watched how it took me from thoughts of suicide and depression and living in a world that I didn't want to live in to my whole family moving to another city and another town and everything changing. Because I said, I want to believe in something better than this. And I watched that with great humility. I said, I don't know if I did that or God did that. I don't know what did that. But if this teaching had anything to do with it, I'm grateful. And I'm beyond grateful. And I watched it continue over my high school time, etc. I watched it continue to give back to me and sing back to me in ways that I could have never predicted if I hadn't made that decision. If I just said, you know what, I got nothing to lose, I'm just going to trust it. I'm just going to do what they're telling me on Sunday. I'm just going to say an affirmation and spend time daily in meditation and just believe that there's got to be something better than this. And then lo and behold, there it was. And as I leaned into that, I said, oh my gosh, there's nothing I can do in my life. I could live my entire rest of my life doing whatever it is I think I'm going to do in life. And it won't be enough to pay back the gift that this teaching has given me. So I'm going to make a decision to dedicate myself to this teaching in whatever form that may come. All right, so I made that decision. Once I made that decision, I began to discover those capacities within me. I was shy. I was deathly afraid of standing up in front of people. I went to a youth conference in Glorieta, New Mexico. I decided to do stand-up comedy for the first time in my life in front of 800 teenagers. Not necessarily a compassionate audience. The MC of that talent show was a guy by the name of Ronnie Baca in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He owned the comedy club there. And so I did my stuff, and some of it was mine and some of it wasn't, but I put it together, and it was just to try it out and get the nerves off. And just people said, we think you're kind of funny. I don't know if they were talking about my looks or my humor. I didn't know what it was, but I said, I just said, let me just try this out. And I did it. Great success. Ronnie Baca grabbed me afterwards, and he said, where do you live? I said, I'm from Albuquerque. And he said, I own the company. He said, what high school do you go to? I said, I go to Sandia High School, which is where my neighborhood was, not far from 2-3 miles from his comedy club. He said, you got something. Come see me after school at the comedy club. And so I would go see him, and I'd do this regularly. I'd take my homework, and I'd go sit in his office, and I'd just be doing my homework, and then in between things, he and I would just chat about life. And I remember saying, yeah, but writing good comedy is so hard. And he would just start bursting out laughing. He'd be like, No, it isn't. Look around you. This world is funny. Every day, everything you're coming in. So he taught me how to look at life in a particular way and how to deliver and how to have confidence in front of a room. All of these things, right? Because I had made that decision to just try it out, to just put myself out there, right? Began to discover more talents and gifts. I went, long story short, from there to St. Louis for ministerial school, from St. Louis to Portland, Oregon, to Wilsonville, to a big church I got hired as the youth minister, which was my passion, and I thought I'd do that for the rest of my life. And this church had, 2,000 to 3,000 people coming on Sundays. In the youth program, it had about 150 to 200 youth, from infants to college students. I had more kids in my youth program that I was in charge of than most of our churches have in the sanctuaries on Sundays. And that church went bankrupt a few years later, 2 years after I arrived. Went belly up, a big scandal, yada, yada. And I was scared. I was like, well, now what? I put it all on the line. I moved everything. I moved out here. I thought, this is what I'm going to do. People thought I was going to be the successor of that particular church, and all of these things. And it all collapsed seemingly overnight. It took, several months, but began to all collapse. And so I called the headquarters for our movement, which was in Burbank at the time, and I said, you got a job in L.A.? I need to do something else because this is falling apart. And the wonderful man who was in charge, Reverend Nirvana Gale, answered the phone, and he was the ecclesiastical director of our movement at the time, and he said, that church was independent, so I had left this particular denomination or organization we're part of, Centers for Spiritual Living, and to take this job. And he said, there would be nothing that would make me happier than to bring you back into this movement. He said, but I can't do that. And I was kind of crestfallen. I said, but why not? He said, it's going bankrupt. There's nobody here. It's like it's Armageddon over here. But there was a group that wanted to keep going and create something new out of the ashes of that experience. And he said, because if I let you go, if I rescue you out of this, you will never discover the capacity that you have within you to lead them through this moment. And he said, and I'll never be able to forgive myself for that. He said, so you got to stay and you got to commit to whatever's going to come. He said, now if you fall flat on your face, I'll pick you up. Don't worry. The universe has got you. We'll find something. But you've got to stay. That became, what birthed out of that became the ministry that I had for 17 years in Lake Oswego in Portland, Oregon, which eventually led to me expanding again and coming here. When you decide that the universe is for you, that you're here to serve, that you're here to unleash creative capacities within you that you have yet to even know exactly what they are, then you will begin to discover moment by moment. Doesn't mean that the path will always be pretty. It doesn't mean there won't be hiccups and surprises along the way, but those will be the testing grounds for you to discover what Spirit wants to do in your life. Then you begin to develop those particular skills and then dedicate yourself to that, and it moves right back to the side again. As you dedicate yourself, you'll be asked to make another decision. Each one of those moments was a decision. From ministerial school, from out of college and to St. Louis was a decision. Out of St. Louis to Oregon was a decision. Out of the first ministry in Oregon to the birthing of the ministry in Oregon was a decision. From Oregon to here was a decision. Each time, the universe has met me with greater good than I could possibly imagine. But it starts first with making that decision. Are you following what I'm saying? The artist weds themselves to beauty, imbibing the essence of spirit, of the beauty that may be transmitted into the canvas or into the cold marble. And so, too, we must wed ourselves to the love of what is calling us. Ernest Holmes, in this thing called life, says this, and I'm going to use this as sort of a closing meditation and prayer. So I invite you to take a breath. You belong to the universe in which you live. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You belong to the universe in which you live. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You are as much a part of it as the sun, the earth, and the air. There's something inside of you telling you this, like a voice echoing from some mountaintop of inward vision, like a light whose origin no one has seen before, like an impulse welling up from an invisible source. Your soul belongs to the universe. Your mind is an outlet through which the creative intelligence of the universe seeks fulfillment. This is your starting point for investigating the meaning of those impulses, longings, desires which accompany you through life. You may accept that their source is real. You may accept that the universe is filled with the divine and infinite presence, perhaps the finite or infinite of yourself. Not the infinite of your limited self, but the infinite of your divine self that you must be. There must be a pattern of yourself in this invisible infinite. The greatest minds of the ages have accepted that such a pattern exists. Socrates called it his spirit. Jesus, his Father in heaven. Some ancient mystics called it Atman. Why don't you just call it you? Your complete self. For surely this is what they have all meant. Just try to catch the larger vision and realize that there have been and are people, many of them, who have wooed and wed some invisible presence until its atmosphere and essence have become woven into the fabric of their own existence. Every being is a doorway, as Emerson said, through which the infinite passes into the finite, through which God becomes humanity, through which the universe becomes individual. You are to believe with the utmost simplicity and complete faith that there is a pattern of your being or your spirit which is real, which is eternal as God, as indestructible as reality, and as changeless as truth. Take a breath. You belong to the universe in which you live. And it is your task now to go boldly into the world of existence, to go boldly into your relationships, to go boldly into your creative capacities in the workforce, to go boldly into the community, to go boldly into the world around you, to go boldly even into your own inner self, and to discover that infinite presence and make manifest it through your capacities and talents, creativities and contributions. And in doing so, I have no doubt that the world will become a better place, that we will see less and less of the isms and troubles of the world and the scarcity thinking and the us versus them and the nitpicking and the divisions that we engage in for far too long and far too often. There will begin to be the birthing of new thoughts, new ideas, new ways to serve and reach each other. And in doing so, all of your needs will be met, because you cannot surrender yourself in service to the world without having yourself be fulfilled in the process. So go now, boldly, into this great tomorrow. Let's affirm together again. Today, I give myself permission to boldly believe in the possible and to boldly go where my highest good resides. As I discover more creative capacity, I dedicate myself with bold tenacity, knowing that nothing can hold me good. And so it is. Thank you all. Peace and blessings.
Well,
Thank you. She's ready. She's ready. She's ready. Once again, Reverend David. Oh, I love myself some Reverend David. Wow. To boldly go in the direction of your dreams and your ideas, like a world that works for everyone. Like a world that works for everyone. We were born on purpose for a purpose. I can resonate on that until next Sunday, and I'll come back and get some more. Okay? It is time to acknowledge the first-time visitors. If this is your first time at SLCA, we want to invite you to stand so that we can welcome you. Welcome. Okay, our issues are handing out a gift just for you. Please join a welcome ambassador in the fellowship lobby following this service. Thank you for choosing Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta as part of your celebration today. We welcome each of you in need of prayer to remain in the room for one-on-one prayer with a licensed practitioner. Practitioners will be available on both sides of the room, and we should have our stoves on. As we enter into our time of grateful giving, we want to thank each of you that faithfully give to SLCA. It is because of your contributions that we can continue to spread our message of oneness. If you were inspired by this message today, please consider becoming a recurring pledger or give what is on your heart today. You can conveniently give on our website, or you can text your gift to 404-800-9467. You may also give with a credit card using the digital program with the QR code displayed on the screen. If you wish to give by check or cash, our ushers will be coming through the aisle shortly to receive your contributions. Please join with me in saying our grateful giving affirmation. I live in the universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly. Thank you. And so it is.
Now it's my turn. So I'm going to ask you to sing along, and most importantly, I'm going to ask you to clap on the 2 and the 4. I'll show you. By George, I think you have it. I am created. My highest good. Those doors are open just like they should. I am creating a better life. I make up every day and everyone is nice. Cause I believe it, I see it, and then before I know it, my world suddenly will show it. Oh yeah. Created my highest good. As I take new roads, it's understood. I am created my happiness. I try to catch it all as it goes flying past. Cause I believe it, I see it, and then before I know it, my world suddenly will show it. Oh yeah, yeah. Every one of us in this room is creative. We're creating our highest good every minute of every day. Starts with the thought, then you connect in, and suddenly everything starts flowing. It's all about the knowing. It's all about the connection. How you feeling out there? Feeling good? We are creating our highest good. creating a better space. We know we're always in our right and perfect space. 'Cause we believe it, we see it, and then before we know it, our world suddenly will show it. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. I am created. I am created. I am created, my highest good. One more time with me. I am created. I am created. I am created, my highest good. Thank you, everybody. God bless you, and go forward boldly today.